Before we even begin, take a moment to think about chemistry. Not the kind that is forced by scripts or carefully shaped by promotions, but the kind that feels natural, effortless, and quietly undeniable. The type of chemistry that does not need loud declarations or constant reassurance, because it reveals itself in the smallest, most unguarded moments. The kind that fans begin to notice long before the people involved ever say a word. That is exactly what has been happening with Ling and Orm, a connection that continues to unfold through subtle glances, unplanned appearances, and little slips that make everything feel genuine rather than staged. This is the kind of chemistry that does not shout for attention. It simply exists, steady and unbothered, allowing people to stumble upon it naturally. Ling and Orm do not try to convince anyone of anything. Instead, their presence together creates a quiet pull that draws people in without effort. It is the softness, the familiarity, and the ease that makes fans pause and say there is something different here. Hello fans, welcome to my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and click on the post notification to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Ling and Orm's chemistry has always stood apart, and what makes it even more fascinating is how consistently natural it feels over time. There is no sense of it fading or becoming repetitive. If anything, it deepens with every shared appearance. Recently, fans were quick to spot Ling at a mall on a day when Orm was holding an event. At first glance, it seemed like a simple coincidence, the kind that happens in busy schedules and shared spaces. Ling herself addressed it playfully, brushing it off with a light explanation. She said she did not even know Orm had an event that day and that she had simply come to the mall to get something she needed. Her tone was casual, almost teasing, as if she wanted to keep the moment light and avoid unnecessary attention. It sounded believable on the surface, and many fans were willing to leave it at that. But Ling and Orm's story has always lived in the details, and fans are nothing if not attentive. As the day went on, more clips began to surface. Fans later caught Ling quietly heading toward Orm's waiting area. There was no announcement, no deliberate attempt to be seen, no effort to turn it into a moment. It was calm, subtle, and unassuming, which somehow made it even more meaningful. That single movement shifted the entire narrative. Suddenly, the earlier explanation felt less like coincidence and more like playful deflection. The idea that Ling came for something unrelated but still found her way to Orm spoke volumes. It suggested instinct rather than planning, comfort rather than obligation. Sometimes, people gravitate toward where they feel most at ease, even when they claim it was not intentional. Fans immediately began connecting this moment to a scene from their series, and the resemblance was impossible to ignore. In the drama, Ling's character once joked about forgetting her phone at Orm's apartment and needing to return for it, only for it to be revealed later that the phone had been with her the entire time. It was written as a soft, playful excuse, a way to cover up the simple truth that she wanted to go back. Seeing something so similar play out in real life felt almost surreal. Ling showing up at the mall, claiming she was there for something else, only to be seen heading toward Orm later, felt like fiction gently spilling into reality. Fans did not see it as proof of anything concrete. They saw it as a familiar emotional pattern, one that mirrored the tenderness of their on-screen story. What made fans smile was not the coincidence itself, but how naturally it fit into the narrative they already associated with Ling and Orm. It did not feel forced or dramatic. It felt cute, intimate, and quietly personal. Those are the moments that make people emotionally invested without even realizing it. Another aspect fans often discuss is Ling's relationship with skinship. Ling has openly said in the past that she does not enjoy excessive physical contact. This is something fans have consistently observed in her interactions with others. Her body language is usually reserved. She maintains a comfortable distance, her gestures controlled, her boundaries clear. It is not cold, just intentional and respectful. But when it comes to Orm, something changes. With Orm, Ling appears noticeably more relaxed. The stiffness disappears. The careful distance softens. There are countless videos showing Ling leaning into Orm, staying close, resting comfortably beside her. Fans have noticed moments where Ling initiates closeness rather than pulling away. These are not staged interactions or fan service moments. They happen naturally, often when Ling seems unaware she is being filmed. Behind-the-scenes clips have captured even more telling moments. Ling and Orm sharing quiet laughter, standing close between takes, exchanging soft looks that linger just a little longer than necessary. There are even moments where they are seen kissing behind the scenes, quick and unguarded, as if no one else exists in that space. What stands out is not the act itself, but the ease with which it happens. There is no hesitation, no self-consciousness. It looks instinctive, like something that does not need to be thought about. This is where fans feel the difference most clearly. Ling may not enjoy skinship in general, but with Orm, it feels natural rather than forced. This contrast speaks louder than any public statement ever could. When someone holds firm boundaries with most people but selectively relaxes them with one person, it reveals a deep level of trust. Orm is clearly someone Ling feels safe with, someone who does not make her feel exposed or uncomfortable. On set, their connection seems to extend beyond the requirements of filming. Even when cameras are off, Ling and Orm tend to drift toward each other. Their movements align effortlessly. A hand reaches out without thought. A glance turns into shared laughter. The presence of others fades as they create a small, comfortable world of their own. Fans often point out that their dynamic does not resemble that of typical co-stars. There is no awkwardness, no sense of obligation to perform closeness. Instead, everything feels fluid and sincere. They move like people who understand each other without words, who anticipate each other's reactions instinctively. The mall incident became such a powerful talking point because it reflected all of this in a real-world setting. Ling did not need to attend Orm's event publicly. She did not need to be seen by fans. Yet she showed up, quietly and without expectation. That alone resonated deeply with those who have been following their journey. Even fans who remain cautious about assumptions often admit that Ling and Orm's connection feels genuine. There is a warmth in their interactions that is difficult to dismiss. They mirror each other's emotions naturally. When one laughs, the other follows. When one grows quiet, the other stays close, offering silent companionship. The behind-the-scenes kisses are often mentioned not because they are sensational, but because of how normal they appear. There is no exaggeration, no awareness of being watched. Just two people sharing a moment of closeness, unaware that fans would later analyze every frame. Ling's earlier statements about disliking skinship only add depth to this narrative. They highlight that Orm is not just another person in her space. Orm is someone Ling chooses, someone she trusts enough to let her guard down around. As time goes on, fans continue to collect these moments, not as evidence to prove a relationship, but as pieces of a story that feels emotionally real. The mall sighting. The playful excuses. The quiet waiting area visit. The behind-the-scenes closeness. Each moment adds another layer to their connection. Whether Ling and Orm ever choose to define their relationship publicly or keep it private, one thing remains undeniable. Their chemistry is unmatched. It lives in the pauses between words, in casual appearances, in soft smiles that are not meant for cameras. It is the kind of connection that does not need explanation because it is felt. This is why fans remain invested. Not because they demand answers or labels, but because watching Ling and Orm together feels comforting and sincere. It feels like witnessing something honest in an industry that often thrives on performance. Thank you for tuning in to K-Drama Bloom.